buddy. Are you okay? Hey, my boy. Tiny boy. Hi. You okay, tiny boy? I love you. Night night. Mika!
Best time to start your seeds indoors. When I look at this mammoth dill, grow quite quickly indoors. So if you start them,
Y'all, like, I really struggle. I really struggle with not just making a complete mess of my surroundings. And I know the peace that I have when my space is clear and clean, and I have an organization about things. And I know for me, it takes not having so many things to achieve that. Or it helps a lot to not have lots of things. Because I'm one where it's like out of sight, out of mind. And when I think about it, when I have so many things that are out of sight and I don't even remember that they exist until I find them, how much do I really need them? I don't like living in the clutter, but it's like I feel like I have my entire life. When I look at all the little things that I've tried to do to create some organization, and another thing is like all the things that I like to try and all the crafts that I like to try, my child, all of the things that she makes and then she gives me. I feel like having nothing at all, with a clear mind, blank slated, is better than having all the things in the world to use completely full. I feel like it's better to have your mind empty and your surroundings empty than to have your mind full and your surroundings full. As within, so without. I'm tired. I feel like I have all the time in the world, but then I somehow find myself with no time at all. How is that? How does that even work? Oh, note that slipped under my door. Trash. What happens when you know all of the things and you just don't practice them? Then it's on you at that point, you know? What happens when you claim, I can't, knowing that you can? You just are so stuck in this hamster wheel paradigm of hopelessness that the hopelessness and the discouragement seems like the way of life at that point. You know, that's when these types of things happen. It's interesting. It really is. It's really fascinating. It's a Himalayan salt lamp, and it's like half the size because all the humidity has melted it. It is broken as, look at that. Why? The whole front panel came off and I can't find it anywhere. Why do I keep that? Alright. I've got the greatest example of me trying to find gratitude. I was getting the broom out, and I hit myself in the lip. I was like, ow. And then I was like, thank God it was not my nose. Because when you hit things on here, it hurts more than it used to. Let me take this to the trash now. I stopped using these. I still have a massive amount that I use for little trash bags, and I probably will have at least a year or two more worth. Wanna see death in motion? Don't follow my lead, please. Oh, baby, just let me go. Go. Oh, baby, just let me go. Go. Why can't I just let you go? Let you go. Why can't I just let you go? Ooh, I need to be ignored. These two live here. These live in the drawer. The cap to my toothbrush. How does that happen? It ended up about 4 feet away from the actual toothbrush. It's under control. I also have bathroom candles. I like to keep my lights off in the shower. I like to be able to be in the shower, close my eyes, and just be. When I really want a calming aura, I light a candle and so I had a period of time where I bought too many candles and stockpiled candles. In the past year, I've bought 2 candles. I'm trying to get through the stuff that I already have and have a little bit more room and a blank slate to create and recreate what I want at this time, because a lot of these smells are things I was interested in 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm not too into that as much anymore. So I tend to turn my incense on more than anything. I printed this out one day. There are many different versions of the Tao Te Ching. The one that I have doesn't have the same interpretation as this one I found, so I found this one and it was super beautiful and important to me. Chapter 64. Stillness is easy to maintain. What has not yet emerged is easy to prevent. The brittle is easy to shatter, the small is easy to scatter. Solve it before it happens, order it before chaos emerges. That really hit home to me when it comes to my people-pleasing tendencies. A tree as wide as a man's embrace grows from a tiny shoot. A tower of 9 stories starts with a pile of dirt. A climb of 800 feet starts where the foot stands. Those who act will fail, those who seize will lose. So the sage does not act and therefore does not fail, does not seize and therefore does not lose. People fail at the threshold of success. Be as cautious at the end as at the beginning. Then there will be no failure. Therefore, the sage desires no desire, does not value rare treasures, learns without learning, recovers what people have left behind. He wants all things to follow their own nature, but dares not act. That right there. I use this cleaner. It is not Home and Planet. This is like the 20th refill of simply vinegar and water. If you can get past the initial little bit of vinegar smell, the smell actually goes away really quickly. I literally fill it maybe this much with vinegar and the rest water. It's such a cheap, environmentally friendly alternative. So I started doing this with, I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to share how discouraged and crappy I felt looking at my just messy surrounding, and I feel like it's turning into like a watch me clean my room, and I'm not into that. So I'm gonna sign off here. Everything, of course, like everything, it's all mental. When I am cluttered in my mind, I'm gonna be cluttered externally. It's like I'm trying, and even though I see some progress, it's like not enough. All I can see is what else I could have done. I could have done so much more. And it's true, I could have done so much more, and I noticed that my blockages in my mind. It's the constant, incessant thoughts. I can't keep organization in what I'm doing in my actions if I am all over the place in my mind. So I noticed that that's like step number 1. It's the most important part. It's being okay mentally. So what I tried to do was, when I noticed that my mind was thinking about this or that or this or that, I sat down and I meditated for a few minutes. I did some breath meditation. I would open my eyes and be right back where I'm supposed to be, which is right here, right now, what I need to be doing. When I take that time out to meditate, even if just for a few minutes, to get back into the swing of reality, everything becomes so much clearer to me. Like, the things that I'm thinking about aren't even real. They don't even exist. They don't matter, because they may or may not even be existent. I heard someone say that when we think that everybody's thinking about us, it's not true. They're thinking about themselves. Just like I'm thinking about myself, they're thinking about their self. So, It's the constant battle in the mind, and I'm proud of what I've done.
Kitty, I love you. I love you.
He's like, I don't feel the same.
More than the two of them, everything they feel is just what I am. I am the fury, I am the patience, I am a conversation. I am a and it's stronger than you. Probably, in my opinion, the best cartoon that's ever been made on planet Earth. You know, so I was writing a moment ago, and after I wrote, I just felt so free, because I've been really struggling in my mind with others' opinions of me and what other people are thinking of me, ultimately leading to me wondering, how the hell do I feel about myself? Because when I find myself in a place where I'm thinking about what others think about me, it tends to be from either a negative place or a wanting to control others seeing me positively. And if I think they're seeing me in a negative space, me trying to defend it. So fueling in my own negativity, right? Mind you, this is all fantasy. This is all in my mind. It doesn't even exist. So I'm writing, and I just felt so much freedom because I released myself. It was releasing that what's important to me must be important to you. And what is important to you must be important to me. Because it's not the case. We are, I read the other day, we are a kaleidoscope of colors manifested as human beings. We are all so different, so perfectly unique in our own shapes and sizes. And when we can come into that, it's a really beautiful thing. When I started working out, when I was a little girl, man, I was so insecure, and all those magazines when I was younger would tell me like how to get perfect flat abs and how to look really good and look like this girl and look like that girl. And I would lose hope really, really quickly. Either way, that's just not my body. My body is not made like some other people, and I always saw that as a negative thing. And when I started working out regularly and started seeing improvement, my body never became what the magazines want it to look like. It just was like a different variation of my own particular body shape. And because I felt so strong physically, inside and out, and I saw the progress over time of like what this strength was doing for me and doing to me. I was able to let go of the image that I thought my body should become externally, and was able to accept my body exactly as it is, because I know this is so mentally and physically, it's so intertwined, the mental and the physical. I know who I am on the inside. I know how strong I am. And because my body doesn't look what media says it's supposed to look like, doesn't mean that I'm not strong and I'm not fit. And it's just such a beautiful thing. So with that said, just because what's important to you is not important to me, or what's important to me is not important to you, doesn't make it not important. We all have our own little slice of God, which is our own little mind, which we think is separated, which feels and looks and kind of for the most part is separated when we have the block up, which a majority of time we walk around with the mental block up, the idea that we are separate from others. And there's certain ways to get past this. There's, meditation is the number one way. But practicing things such as like mindful awareness, like mindfulness meditation, practicing unconditional love, humility, compassion, practicing things like this help us to get a better idea and understanding of what it is like to be in God consciousness and God centeredness. And from those places we can remember what it is like. From this place we can remember what it is like to not be in a separated mind. When we come from a place of humility and mindful, conscious awareness, that's where we can remember the truth of what we really are. And then we're not so separated anymore. And then I remember that we're all just trying, and even though I don't agree with you on a physical plane, doesn't mean that you are wrong. There is no right, there is no wrong. Luckily, I wasn't employed on this planet to decide what and who can and can't be morally wrong. I think personally my job is to try to understand every single person, where they are. And I don't mean like analyze and dig so far and deep down that I'm like turning everything into a complicated algebraic equation, but to see people maybe in the pain or the joy that they're in, and understand that like they may be coming from a place of biased emotion, which is very, very normal for a human being. And trying myself to come from a place of conscious awareness. And when I am, I can see everybody and understand everybody and exactly where they're coming from. And when I'm in that place and coming from that place, I don't have to fight to find that. It's really frustrating when you can see other people and the pain that they're coming from and they can't see it themselves. But understanding that that's their process and that you have nothing to do with it because you're not actually the center of the universe. God, I'm not the center of the universe. And remember like that I've been in similar places. I doubt there's been anyone ever on this planet, any human being, that has not acted in a state of ignorance. Ignorance is really easy. It's easy to go down that rabbit hole because it means that the ego doesn't have to deal with it, and the ego doesn't want to deal with it. The ego wants to stay and believe that it is the center of the universe. So if you're challenging in any way that you are not the center of the universe, the ego will fight back in any way. And that's where these ignorance and indifference, intolerance, you're wrong, I'm right, if you're not following my way, there's something wrong with you. That's where all these things come from. And I try to look at the ego from not a place of you're a dick or from you don't belong here, go away, but from a place of it's like a confused child having a temper tantrum. And I can fight it, but it's gonna end up fighting me back and it'll be a continuous loop. Or, and I know this from being a parent, like I experienced this is how it works being a parent, seriously. Or I can allow it to be where it's at and come and meet it in a loving place. Meet it where it's at and come from my portal of a loving, kind, awareness, conscious place. And then I watch it flip and turn around. And this is exactly how it works with a child. When I'm with a child and the child is irrational and I am able to stay centered in a place where I'm coming from loving awareness and meet it where it's at, the child always comes and meets me where I'm at in loving awareness. I'm telling you, it's really real. It's just about remembering to practice that. I felt really compelled to do this because I felt so much gratitude, and I heard this song and it made me so happy. It made me so happy, and I just wanted to dance, and I just wanted to share my joy and my happiness with you and remind you that, you know, the admission that I'm not the center of the universe seems painful for the ego, but for the real self, it is freedom. It is freedom from a self-made prison. I found these super, awesome camo gray Fabletics leggings at the thrift store for $4. I love when shit like this happens. These clothes are just not the most sustainable to produce. When you get them from the thrift store, one, you're paying such a small portion of the actual price, and two, you are not contributing to a negative environmental impact. And on top of it, I got it from my favorite thrift store, which is actually the local county's domestic violence shelter. I said yesterday that I wouldn't buy any more candles, and I bought a candle. Still struggling. It was sweet orange. Come on.